Oh, it's Fire Emblem again? Sons of bitches, they got us.
The time has finally come to unleash the forbidden spell of Zahara
Oh, I gotta need
on
this.
our enemies.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap?
Can't believe they're using Fire Emblem again. That's ridiculous.
I too am trapped within this void.
As the last character, that's so anticlimactic.
Are you prepared to die? I thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet, there is no other choice. You must join Smash.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
Why is it Fire Emblem again? There could have been anyone else.
So joining Smash.
They actually did this. What the hell, Sakurai? Jesus Christ! We waited for this?
So you returned.
We waited for this? We waited 3 months for this?
Too many swordsmen, are there? And you wield the sword as well? What will you do?
They know.
So that is how you plan to win the day? So be it. I reward your cleverness this time.
Why? There could have been more! Damn, Sakurai.
How is this? Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relic.
This doesn't change anything. It's still Fire Emblem.
Use the meter's overwhelming power. Unleash the blinding speed of Fanlot.
Could have been anyone. People were guessing Dante. I would have been fine with Dante if this wasn't the case. And mind you, I've been liking Fire Emblem lately, so this means this is not. No, we almost got no new Fire Emblem characters besides Chrom. Now there's 8 of them. Damn it, Sakurai! Why? 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 It's such an odd character. Everyone else was a third party. Yet you chose them?
Yes, there you have it. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses is joining the battle. Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, and it will also be available to purchase individually.
Well, it's pretty soon, actually.
In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry. First off, what is Fire Emblem? It's really hard to pronounce in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful. The series' first entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates combat. You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game, or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid in battle. When we talk about tactical games of that era, there were lots of ones in which you command tanks, aircraft, and so on. But Fire Emblem was unique because each unit was a specific character, sort of like in role-playing games. Plus, something made it stand out from other Nintendo products. Characters could permanently die. That's pretty direct language, though, so perhaps we should just say they're sleeping with the fishes.
Wow.
But really, if a character fell in battle, you'd lose that unit. They'd be gone, and you couldn't use them again. Recent entries in the series maintain this concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now allow strategic withdrawals, so to speak. In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary. The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios. Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 can use a counterattack. It's their dance special.
That says a lot.
There's a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's team. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn. And now, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the 17th game in the series. People who aren't Japanese in particular might be thinking, 17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の剣、外伝、紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、トラキア7766、封印の剣、烈火の剣、聖魔の功績、荘園の奇跡、暁の女神、新暗黒竜、新紋章、覚醒、イフ、ヒーローズ、テコーズ、風化節。
There you go, 17.
That's where that came from.
今、変な数え方してます。
So you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary.
つまり、これが
This is 0. Hold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2.
So you're so charming, Sakurai.
4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17. Awesome, isn't it? You can actually count up to 31 on one hand. And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023. If you've given up counting the knots in the tatami mat, you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses? In Japanese, the male version of the
I'm
main
so
character is called
disappointed.
Byleth, and the female version is called
Like-
Byleth, but in English they share the same name, Byleth.
That's the last character they
Byleth
use?
becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you
Come
guide
on.
their school life, and, well, you end up fighting the other houses. After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their region. It's a very sad game in which your former allies...
I actually have this game, so I can play it when I
try to kill you.
feel like it.
To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release. I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference. The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand. Before my demonstration, I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November. Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version.
November, holy shit.
As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
This is just... This is...
So, this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly, they're lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demons. The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick.
Well, I guess the good thing is that I get to see the internet blow up about this, because everyone was not happy about Fire Emblem coming back for this.
First, let's talk about the weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the Creator here is Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip. They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves. For their up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air. For their up air attack, they'll wave the whip sword overhead. The hit detection for this attack lasts for a relatively long time. The up special move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like this.
Okay.
It was pretty terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition, you can do awful things.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
That said, you'll launch opponents upward until their damage reaches a certain percentage. Exceed that percentage and you'll need to be careful. You may find it helpful to mid-air dodge.
I'm just disappointed, okay, Sakurai? Come on.
To latch onto edges.
We had Joker,
So,
Hero,
that's the
Banjo,
upside.
Terry. All third-party
Now,
characters,
for the
and we
side
end up with this.
This is Eredvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology. First, we'll go through the forward and back air attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach.
We said the 28th,
Like so.
I don't know what day of the week that is.
Marth's air attack keeps opponents in check.
Well, luckily, I have a Nintendo Power Counter that's actually the same as this year. It's for 97, but
If
let's
Byleth
take a
does
look.
the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it. Next, the side smash attack. This also has a long range. It'll connect
pretty
you
lucky
with
like
the
that. 28th. That's Tuesday, so...
heel. Also, if you add an upward
Thursday.
tilt, it will be stronger.
16th.
And if you knocked an opponent down,
Week from Tuesday.
the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful. The shaft part is weaker, so it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage.
So yeah, week from
and it won't
Tuesday,
block
so-
opponents far.
It's kind of what happened with me too,
That's
so
why, as
I
a
like
rule,
that.
You want to hit with the blade part aimed upward. Or downward in this case. Next, the side special move.
Oh yeah, if you're wondering, I didn't watch this one it's not 8 o'clock, it's
Swing the
11.
lance like this.
I managed to avoid everything until I watched
For
it.
example,
It's
even when
kinda
your
hard to
opponent
do,
is
though.
at this distance, it'll still hit. Actually, you can do a smash
just-
attack to charge
It
forward
just had to be Fire
like
Emblem.
this.
It just had to be Fire Emblem.
But as you'd expect, it
I
can
think
easily
Sakurai has a
shield
fetish for
from
Fire
being
Emblem at this point.
Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area.
Because apparently it has to be in the game.
Returning to the side air attacks from earlier.
You know, if the fact we weren't getting more fighters was the case, this would be so more disappointing.
So
It'd be like, oh, the last Smash character ever is a Fire
will
Emblem
be
character.
vulnerable when you land. Now, for the downward inputs. For these, Byleth will use an axe called Emir. It's named after a weapon that appears in Ugaritic myth. First, the down air attack. It really is strong. You can try for a meteor effect with this attack. Next is the down smash attack.
Oh yeah, well I got the
Back and forth.
new amiibos
As
early.
you can see, it has a great
My
deal of
Walmart
launch
sold them
time.
too early, and I got them. So that's pretty
And for
nice.
the down special, Byleth channels.
He's gonna mention them. I guarantee it.
It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon.
Wait a minute.
But here's what makes it different. When readying the move, there's a super armor effect,
The amiibo theory is still kind of correct.
which allows you to withstand an attack.
The only instances were Banjo.
Just so you know, if you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time, it plays out like this.
Cool.
It's a bit slower than the Falcon Punch, but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed. Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms. While you're charging up, you can breeze past platforms like this to reach the lower area. It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack. Also, you can turn around during the move. The swing takes a while, so if an opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents. Plus, even if you fail to land a direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little. It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them. By the way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because you'll just get loads of counters. It hits with that much power in a single attack. Counters can actually multiply the power of blocked attacks, and using easily anticipated attacks like this can just get you hit by counter after counter. Next, we have the neutral moves. The bow you use is called Failnaught, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table. It only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move of Pit's and other fighters like him. It lets you spin the weapon around. It's also easy to create certain combos with it. And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow. First, the biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire, the arrow travels at high speed. It's also very powerful. That said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button. You can also change direction while in the stance.
I can't
It
like
works
do that.
up until this point, but if you keep holding the button, you'll unleash a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light.
Wow.
You can perform this move by keeping the button held down. You charge up power like so, charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible. Once you've entered the stance, you won't be able to do anything. Which means it's quite the risky attack to use against fighters who have a move with a reflector effect. But you could always just aim into the fray, as it is, after all, a long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to opponents. So you need to think carefully when using this projectile weapon. Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version. As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sophist and launch an attack together.
ソフィスが誰であるのか何なのかというのは原作で確認してみていただければと思います。
Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female. However, the third, fourth, and fifth colors are, as you can see, reminiscent of the house leaders. Those of you who played the original game will of course understand what I'm referring to. The sixth color is based on Sophist, who you just saw earlier. And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game story. Didn't we see this variation in the final smash? Next, I'll introduce the stage. For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game, Garreg Mach Monastery. This is how Garreg Mach Monastery is laid out in the original game. From these, we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral, all in one stage. It's the type of stage that rotates through different areas, such as these four. Let me introduce each of the guests that appear in these four areas. The first area is the marketplace. I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping. The guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house, Dimitri, Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom of Byleth. Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri is the future king. He had quite a difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one. There are vendors on either side. In the original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things, but here you can break them, you see. If you do break them, the stage will expand to the left and right. I wonder where people will buy their supplies now. And in the background, you can see the gatekeeper. You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop, you'll come crashing back down. You've broken through the ceiling and slammed into the building. And the guests in the reception hall are Edelgard, Dorothea, and Petra of the Black Eagles. Take note, it's not spelled Edelgard. They're from the Adressian Empire. And as such, they embrace their military might. Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict. Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals. You'll notice there are prominent chandeliers above the stage. It's possible to knock them down. However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters, though. So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go, I made it. And you can knock it down. Also, you can break this table. Like so. Just like the sign that reads Furin Kaza in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range. Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area. It's very wide indeed. It's similar to the bridge of Elden stage. The guests are from the Golden Deer, Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence. They belong to the Leicester Alliance. Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members, and Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap. The naming process must be tough. Hey, it looks like the Pegasus Knight is busy training. As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen. You could also say it's a place where the fail knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly. The last area is the cathedral, only with some platforms you can pass through. The guests appearing in the cathedral are Seta, Flame, and Rhea. There's Seta, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flame. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. All three have character quirks related to their true identities. I feel that Flame might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that. This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms. Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged. It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes. Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side.
Man, they're all third party, but they chose a normal character at the last.
Joker!
That makes no sense.
And Hero! Gee, we really made a lot, huh? Banjo! By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5 opponents with just the professor here. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle.
You're using
I'll use
items.
Anything I can get my hands on. It's not going to land that easily. Uh-oh, this is bad. Then it
I don't want to check my phone or anything in case there's
I
something
better
at the
keep
end.
distance.
Maybe they'll tease the next character. I'd like that.
Chance to attack. Got it. That's scary. He's invincible for a moment here. Lots of explosives. Ouch. Perfect shield at that, huh? Good one. Look at this.
See, we don't know what he's playing with. Like, level 9 computer?
There, the soccer ball connected.
I hope so.
Good. There's Mom.
See, he's using items. That's the
You're in a
problem.
good
Unless
spot,
he is
Mom.
playing against level 9. Then I'll understand.
Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not. I feel like the enemy might get this smash ball. See? They got it. So they mustn't give up.
Oh!
Makes a chance.
He broke his shield!
There's
Wait,
another smash ball.
We killed everyone already.
Now, what are you charging up for? There's still more. Whack. Go on, you can take the hammer, but it's mine. Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state. I hit him. I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game. It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end. Now, about the additional music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages. There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration. 11 songs are being added. This includes an arrangement of the main theme in both Japanese and English. I hope you'll enjoy these as well. We're also adding in a new spirit board. It includes a
Someone
house
else!
among some of the other popular
I'm surprised Dante didn't get announced. I guess. I mean, they
this
said he'd
is
be...
Legend Class. Also, there's a new classic mode.
This was the last thing I was expecting.
Which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history.
This was the last thing I was expecting.
Master Hand and Crazy Hand. But you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that. Now for the Mii Fighter costumes. Please take a look.
Bruce! Is that Assassin's Creed? I think that's Assassin's Creed. Yeah. What? Okay, you got me. They put Ubisoft in Smash. I did not expect this. Yeah, there's Rayman, there's Crash, there's Dante, I guess. They chose a Fire Emblem character. Let's hope Challenger Pack 2 has some surprises. Oh my god! These are more interesting than the actual character. Those costumes are more interesting than the character. They put Assassin's Creed in Smash. It's whack. But it's almost over. We've got 5 minutes.
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added.
I could probably use my points
It's
on that
called
if I want
Floral
to.
Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation. I hope you enjoy these as well. After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii Fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it. And now, onto the amiibo.
Oh
The
wait.
color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got these already.
Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th.
I already got them. Those were... Oh, here we go. This is...
And now, with the addition of Byleth, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete.
But
The
why?
lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Byleth.
One of these things is not like the other.
From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say,
Now
this
we're
game
80.
has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on. There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there? When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play. As I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters
Teaser?
down the line.
Maybe? Well,
I
that
thought that
could be an
one or
adult.
two might suffice, but, well, have a look.
You gotta kill yourself. 6. Oh, it might be the last.
Looks like there will be one more fighter than last time. For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out.
By this
And
2021.
now that it's official,
Jesus.
we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed. Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchase it. Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided.
Again?
Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them. But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume, but this time, here's what we have. It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I'm gonna buy it, but
This
not
will
yet.
not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
It's probably gonna be 30 bucks.
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world. Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world. It seems like Street Fighter 2 was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales. However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if you really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 1. Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game. I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely. Also, I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters. The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there will be more DLC, which means no breaks for me. I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us. That's it. Thank you.
It's Fire Emblem again!